What happens when two dudes, one a retired Navy SEAL commander in Colorado Springs, and the other a hippie meditation teacher in New York City, get together to discuss living mindfully? That's a great question, because we don't know what will happen either. Raw, uncut, and unapologetic. Welcome to Men Talking Mindfulness with co-hosts John McCaskill and Will Schneider. Each week, we take an authentic dive into how mindfulness continually impacts our lives, deepens our relationships, and allows us to be emotionally alive. We filter all of our conversations through the man box, where we unpack how as men we are expected to act in society, how fighting the authentic human experience is exhausting and damaging, and how mindfulness can help. If you would like to listen live, join Will and John every Friday at 12:30 Eastern Time on IG Live at handle @WillNotFear. We take each IG episode and upload them straight to this podcast. So happy you're tuning in to Men Talking Mindfulness. Now, on to the show.
Yo, hello people. Friends, followers, everybody out there. It's good to see you. I'm waiting for John to get on. He's coming right on at 12:30. Oh, there's the man. I'll wave right to him, and he's going to come on. And we got John, me and John today, Men Talking Mindfulness. Hey, Johnny, stay on. John's coming on in a moment. Oh, where's John? There he is. This guy. And should be coming in 5, 4, 3, 2. Is John McCaskill out there? There he is.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How are you?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Good. I'm applying for business loans.
Oh, there you go, man.
I know, I'm really stepping it up a little bit. They just came out with a new, and for everyone out there, they came out a new PPP loan, a payment protection program loan. So that's only open until funds run out. So anyway, it's just nice to support my business, But
yeah.
Anyway, that's business side. But I'm doing good otherwise too. So
yeah, Veterans Path also applied for a PPP loan to cover, what is it? Payroll protection plan or something?
Yeah, payroll. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that was what we had to do for that. So I am sitting here in Telluride, and my kids are on the playground. That's my wife running in the background, and I got my dog sitting here too. So got the whole family on the show today.
Wow. So Telluride, that's in Colorado, is that right?
Colorado, yeah, man. It's unbelievably beautiful here. So yeah. We came here for the week just to kind of decompress from the travel across the country. So we traveled even further. But this time we were just in the car, not in an RV. So we drove out here, spent the week in a nice lodge with my brother-in-law, because I certainly can't afford this kind of place on my own. Spent some time doing some mountain biking and some time on the hill, just hiking and seeing some waterfalls, spending some time being quiet, just doing some personal introspective work. So it's perfect for today's show. I think some stuff to talk about. So
yeah, well, yeah. Let me. I'm curious, and I'm sure other people are too. There's like fireworks outside, and it's daytime. Anyway, so you're still feeling like you might actually kind of settle into a place eventually, or
yeah, I think so. That's I'm sorry, man, if you can hear my dog whining.
Okay.
So we're most likely going to end up settling in a place here for now, just because, as like I mentioned last week, as we were driving across the country, it ended up being a little tougher than we had thought. Some places that we thought were going to be open were closed. I ended up hurting my back, and my wife was like taking care of the kids and the dog and me while my back was open. While my back was hurt. We realized that if one of us was to get COVID as we were traveling around the country, it would be extremely difficult for the other one. So we decided against the travels for now, probably postpone it, and look for a place here in Colorado Springs, and settle down for a little while, and then once things settle down with COVID, then get back on the road and go from there. So
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, good. I mean, honestly, when you told me you're looking to settle, I'm like, sounds like a smart choice.
Yeah,
considering like so many of the state national parks are crowded, and
exactly.
we're in who knows
Like,
what
and they're closed.
where we'll be in the next like 3-4 months as a
Right.
country. So good.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's the safest thing for the family and makes the most sense all around. So get settled. We're looking at places there in Colorado Springs, and there's some great places. We're looking for some horse property. My wife's a big horse
Oh
fan, so
shit, that's awesome. I mean,
so
I'm really sad you guys are excited about this.
yeah, we are excited, and that'll be great. You know, great having some land for the kids to play around on, and the dogs, or dog right now, and then maybe I'll put together a little meditation garden or something on the land.
Now,
So,
get your Zen garden, man.
that's
You
right.
better do that. That's great.
Yeah,
Wow. Oh, and I think today, right? Tell me if I'm correct. Is your last day as an active member of
that
the
is right,
military?
man. Yeah, good
Fuck,
memory. Actually,
dude.
we went.
Congratulations! Holy
Thanks.
cow! What a celebration, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We went mountain biking yesterday, downhill stuff, and as I was getting the bike and I had to fill out the date and I wrote July 30th, I was like, holy cow, tomorrow is literally my last active duty day in the Navy. It's like, wow, yeah, it's starting to hit me. But yeah, that that as we talked about a couple weeks ago has been a process going through the emotions that come with that, both the positive and the negative. Or I don't want to call them negative, but not positive, I guess.
They're just
So
feelings,
the neutral,
They're fucking feelings. Yeah.
yeah. So, and that's, that's one of the things about mindfulness is, and we've talked about this in the past, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again in the future. Sorry, I keep looking down, man. I'm trying to wrangle my dog in here.
That's okay. You're coming through clear, so it's all good.
So anyway, as you practice the mindfulness, how things bubble to the surface that you weren't even aware of. I mean, there have been a lot of emotions bubbling to the surface that I was not aware of, and having this show to talk about them with you, having my wife to talk about them with, because my wife's a veteran as well, and she processed these same emotions. So she's able to talk me through what I'm going through, and yeah, it's been pretty powerful.
Yeah. Well,
Stuff.
do you want to
Yeah.
share a little? I mean, considering it's I know we're going to talk about meditation today, but
Yeah.
I'm sure anything we say, we can definitely segue into meditation.
Yeah.
You want to maybe share a little bit more of, because we talked about 4 weeks ago. Here we are, 4 weeks later, the very last day as an 24-year veteran. I mean, crazy. If you want to share some more, I'm sure a lot of your people have been hitting me up on Instagram saying like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're doing
Cool.
with John and stuff." So
nice.
We definitely have some people that are listening out there. So
yeah, that's good. So yeah, for those who have transitioned or those who are soon to be transitioning, I mean, some of the things I experience and am currently experiencing is a little bit of a sense of like you're abandoning the family, right? The family being the military, and you're leaving them behind when in fact that's not the case. I mean, the military is a big machine and it's going to continue to do what it needs to do with or without you, but it's still a little bit sad when you start to think about the people in that big machine and the brotherhood and sisterhood, or familyhood, I guess is probably the better term, that you're kind of leaving behind. But at the same time, it's kind of that mixed cocktail, because I'm enjoying not having to report in every day. I'm enjoying to have a little bit more time with my family and not worry about having to deploy at the drop of a hat. I guess I'm just enjoying normal life.
I think you're enjoying your beard too.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. My wife is not a huge fan. Next week, you're going to see clean shaven John again.
Well, maybe she'll get on board another few weeks, John. Maybe she'll be like, you know what, I kind of like this. But anyway.
Yeah, but I have enjoyed that too. I mean, not shaving every day, that is a fun thing. But yeah, there's a little bit of frustration, even like the frustration being that the military is very hierarchical, and there's structure, and people do things when they're told to do things, or for the most part. I mean, that's a generalization, but for the most part. and now working and living in civilian world, even just for a month, I see that things are different. People don't necessarily stick to deadlines as much as they do in the military because the consequences aren't there. And I'm not talking about necessarily the nonprofit Veterans Path that I work for. I think they're great. It's just in dealing with even here in Telluride, speaking with people. I mean, something as stupid as this morning. You know, I've got 2 kids and a dog, so to get out of the hotel room, I need one of those carts at the door, right?
Right.
To load up with all my crap. And I ordered it last night. Hey, I wanted it at the door at 9:30. 9:30 rolls around and it's not there. And I'm like, I find myself getting frustrated about these stupid little things. I'm like, oh wait, this guy that I called yesterday, he's not in the military. You know, and this isn't even the end of the world that the cart's not here at 9:30. Just relax. So I'm getting frustrated about stupid things.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing, hey, maybe I need to take a step back and relax a little bit. But at the same time, I kind of wish that some people had more accountability in what it is they do for us and for a living. So,
well, welcome to civilian life in some ways, because
right.
I think one of the reasons we jive so well is because we say 12:30, we're doing 12:30. We say 1:00 for a meeting, we're doing 1:00. We're delivering notes or whatever we need, and it's on time.
Right. Right.
That just makes, I think, a good person. It makes a good business, and it makes a good friend.
For sure.
But a lot of, especially if we go to my niece's generation, she's 22, everybody's flaking all the time. Like just flake, or like never really, sticking to the word. And I think that's really such an incredible quality of that you've been kind of, I'm sure you came into the military with that, but definitely was strengthened, through all these years of like, you say X, you do X.
Right.
A lot of people say X and do Y and Z and forget about X. And and I understand the frustration, but I think what you'll find as a civilian, John, you'll find your tribe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, you will. You will.
No,
I only want to surround myself, and I like yourself, like with people that, are mindful about other people's time, other people's commitments, and like sticking to their word,
Right. Right. Yeah. And, come full circle. I think, mindfulness plays a piece in that.
Absolutely.
As you're practicing the meditation in the morning or whenever it is you practice, and then the actual mindfulness through the day. I mean, you're mindful of other people's needs, what it is that you promise them, and you stick to those. I think it's easier to stick to promised guidelines, deadlines. If you're in fact practicing mindfulness, you're mindful of, you're empathetic. It helps to drive that empathy. So,
right. Well, I think one of the problems that we have. Sorry, I'm turning a fan.
Good.
It's like we're only mindful of ourselves so much.
Right.
We're not even mindful of ourselves in the sense of all we do are concern ourselves with our needs, with our conversation, our emotional turmoil, and we're really unless you have family or something like that, or lots of family and continue to really think of other people. And that's really, you bring up a great point about mindfulness. It's just like, yes, it's obviously I need to take care of myself and put, the mask on myself first every morning. But it's like, I know what makes me happy and what they've shown happiness is really trying to take care of others and just being, and that taking care of others can just be integrity with others, being honest, sticking to deadlines, saying X and doing X. So it's just another, I guess that's even a mindfulness practice in itself,
Sure, it is. Absolutely. I mean, paying attention to the here and now, and the here and now of what you've promised, the here and now of what others need. I think that's huge. So they definitely go hand in hand with one another. So yeah, man. I don't know. Did you want to jump in on a practice this morning?
Oh yeah,
I guess
God,
this afternoon
sorry.
for you?
I got really
No,
excited
you're good.
about I can't believe I'm catching you. Well, first you're in Colorado. I'm still in New York. And, but just like to really, just to celebrate you, John. For this last day of an active duty reserve person. I think, I don't know. I feel honored to be able to even communicate with you on a day like this when you put so much time in. But I just want to congratulate you for that. For sure.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I think I need the practice to process this day.
Yeah, I agree. Well, do you want me to lead, or you would like to
Yeah,
lead,
yeah, man. If you lead this one, I'll lead the closing one, and then we'll go from
Okay,
there.
yeah, sorry. I again, my excitement gets the best
All
of me
good.
sometimes. But now I'm mindful of it, though. Okay.
All right.
All right. So let's, wherever you are, if you're, sit down if you can. You'd like to make deeper contact with yourself, hand on chest, hand on belly. And let's start by just taking a few big breaths in and out. So into the nose. Feel that breath really fill. Then try to even get a big giant balloon in your entire torso and exhale out the mouth. That's it. Good. Let's do 4 more of those. Big breath in. Exhale out. Good. Again, big breath. Exhale, let it go. Great. One more. Let it go, let it go. We're going to do a breath meditation for 1 minute, which I'm going to set a timer for us. With the eyes closed, keeping that contact of heart and belly. And for this next minute, even with the dog going a little nuts, just try, push everything away or everything out and just focus simply on trying to control your breath, but control the quantity a little bit bigger than how you normally breathe, but also control the quality of how, and meaning creating a nice rhythm between the inhale and the exhale. And just let that be your focus. And just doing the best you can to be present to your breath, even with all the distractions that around us constantly. Can you just know that they're there? Acknowledge that it's just a moment in life, and then come back to your focus of really trying to create that beautiful rhythm within your breath. And just notice by taking control, what we think is like involuntarily, our respiratory system, but really jumping in and demanding and yourself to control how you begin to feel by just creating a beautiful pattern and rhythm of breathing. And then just take this to finish, just check how you're feeling now from where you were to where you are in the here and now in this moment. We'll close, exhale the breath all the way out. We'll do 1 giant breath in. Let's hold that breath here at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale out your mouth. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you, man. Definitely found myself getting distracted during that a little bit because of what's going on, but it was actually a good practice in and of itself. Like, my dog was acting up, and then my daughter ran over to me and she's telling me, because there's a playground behind us, she's like, I found a new friend. And at first I was like in my mind, I'm like, babe, I'm on this Instagram Live. At the same time, I'm like, how beautiful is that I'm out of the military, yes, or I will be tomorrow, and I'm sitting here in Telluride, Colorado, in the mountains, and I'm with my daughter, I'm with my wife and my son, and my daughter can run up to me and tell me that she just found a new friend on the playground behind me. I mean, how beautiful is that? And that's that the fact that I was in a mindfulness practice or a meditation, and she came up, and that first instinct was a little bit of, hey babe, go away. And then I was like, no, And it was because I was practicing that I was able to be in touch with, hey, look, this is a beautiful moment. This is a learning moment. This is a teaching moment, if you will. I mean,
Yeah.
now that we're on here, I can share it with those who are maybe tuning in, or maybe will tune in later. But that was a beautiful moment, and
Yeah.
I appreciated it. But the initial instinct was not that same thing. So that's where mindfulness can really come into play, is not just, as we talked about before, not just paying attention to what's going on with you, but also paying attention to those around you, paying attention to what their needs are, what their desires are, what their wants are. And you can be, I think, a better person, a better, for me right now, better, husband, better father. And I think that's a huge blessing that I have mindfulness in my life, so
Yeah.
that I can do that. So yeah, thank you for the practice there. It was pretty awesome.
No worry. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad that but also what you kind of touched on as well. It's like mindfulness can help us get in touch with our emotions and our feelings
Yeah.
of other people. And instead of just being like, oh, go away, you're messing up my meditation. It's just like, wow, this is like, we get to be in touch with everything,
Right.
and
Right.
then make choices about what we want to do with that information.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And my choice initially was like, I just didn't even want to acknowledge my daughter, which is, what kind of choice is that? That's a terrible choice.
I know.
So, I opened my eyes and I loved on her for a second, and then let her run back to the playground, which I'm assuming she's still back there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, my wife's got her, and my wife's more than fully capable.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, great practice, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And yeah, there've been a few times where this week, the beauty of mindfulness came into play. Hiking along, and at first my mind was like on all the administrative little hurdles that I had to jump through to get to this point today and tomorrow. The processing of getting out of the Navy, and I was like, hey man, just enjoy this moment. Enjoy the fact that I'm in the mountains. There's a waterfall off to my side, and I can see it, and I can hear the water rolling by, and just enjoying the moment. We've talked about processing emotions and how things can bubble to the surface. And some people are scared of meditation and mindfulness because of that. But at the same time, it also just enriches your life.
Right.
I mean, from the the moment you get up and maybe you have your first sip of coffee or your first bite of breakfast, and you actually stop for a second and process what's happening with that, and instead of just wolfing down something and knowing that you have to get to work, you just take it a little bit slower. You live life a little bit slower, but I think it's richer, all in
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, I think that's the word, richer. So it's not like, because I feel like, think about fast or slow. It's like, I mean, life is at your pace.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously we have deadline, we have stuff to do and commitments or whatever, but it's just like, but like those moments in between a point where just whatever you're doing, it's just like life is at your pace.
right.
And what I've back in the days, like when the companies I would work for, or I get to teach at, I'd always put up this slide, and I can't remember the exact quote, but it's like, we need to understand that we're not thinking beings, we're feeling beings.
Yeah,
Like all the thoughts that we have are generated from our emotional and our feelings, and that's what and that we might not even be. And with mindfulness and meditation, we become more aware of what those emotional triggers can be, what those emotional experiences and feelings are like, and then we have like a better way of like you just had that moment in the meditation. It was just like, oh, go away, and said no. It's like, that is not a good choice. Like,
right,
I want to be there for my daughter, and
right.
so like being able to make that distinction, which you just had, it is super critical. And one of the reasons, one of the best ways to get there is sitting with yourself in meditation.
Absolutely, no doubt, man. And I get those feelings throughout the day. Like, I'm far more aware of those little frustrations, like I mentioned this morning with the cart, right? And it's
Yeah,
like, how stupid
exactly.
is this that I'm getting a little bit frustrated over this, and I'm like, my anxiety level's going up, my stress level's going up. I'm like, is this worth it? No,
Yeah,
not at all. Because I was aware of what was happening, and I was aware that the fact that the cart not being there was not the end of the world, right? Nobody's shooting at me. The executive director for Veterans Path, Dave Drake, he's whenever the two of us are in a conversation and something is stressing the two of us out, or we have a deadline or something, he's always like, "Hey, John, you know what? Nobody's shooting at us." And I was like, "Good point."
Yeah, exactly.
That's always a good way to kind of compare what it is I'm getting stressed out about to something else that I've been stressed out about in the past. So, yeah, perspective.
Yeah.
I guess that's another word for mindfulness is, we've said awareness, we've said situational awareness, but I think it helps you to gain perspective on things. It helps you gain perspective on life, your situation, others' situations. So that helps to build that empathy that we talked about, and not just empathy for others, but empathy for yourself. Like what it is that you're going through, what it is that you're going to go through, what it is you've been through. So, I think it's powerful.
I love what you're saying about perspective. In order to gain perspective, we must take in more information, right, around us, right, instead of just being like, this is the way I want it done. And why the fuck isn't that cart there at 9:30? You know what I mean? It's like, right? Yeah. I mean, it's just like, we can keep using that metaphor the whole time we're talking, because it's just literally, it's just how life is. Then it's like, what do you do when, life is not matching, the, whatever demands that you have on it. And that's just not the way life is. Like, if we keep living in a bubble of like, life should always suit my needs in every single moment, you're going to be one angry, frustrated, and probably depressed person after enough time,
Yeah. I mean, I laugh only because I've been there, and I've experienced that anger and that frustration. I mean, a lot of the time, what is anger? Anger is just like misunderstanding and quite honestly, sometimes sadness, right? Sadness that is manifesting as another emotion. And I've been there with that anger, and even now, right? I get times when I'm angry, but then because I'm practicing, I'm like, okay, well, what is this? Where is this anger coming from? Well, it's from a misunderstanding of something somebody said, a misunderstanding of an emotion that I'm experiencing. I gotta show you this. Hang on just a second.
No, go for it,
man. This is my dog, and she's just going
What's
nuts.
up? That's live. That's right here, right now.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's another thing we've talked about, right? Is the beauty of live Instagram, the beauty of live things that we're doing, and just being in the here and the now. I mean, we have to be mindful during this show, right? We can't. Yeah. I can't get frustrated at my dog for pulling on this leash because hell, I put her here.
You can't be mad at a dog for being a fucking dog.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
she's
great.
She's great.
Like, I mean, that's just like, what are you gonna do with that?
Right. So yeah, I even lost track of where I was.
No, we were talking about the anger and the emotions that.
Oh yeah,
up and
So
maturity.
So right.
That
so
you're gathering,
I could. Right. So I could be getting angry at my dog, but what is that? What's that actually? If I go down to the root cause of that, what is that? It's just a little frustration, maybe a little bit of I don't know. I wouldn't say sadness. This is not sadness because I'm really enjoying being here with my dog and stuff. But there's other emotions that manifest themselves as anger, and then when you're in a live setting like we are here, that it's really kind of neat to see yourself go through it, see the other person go through it. I mean, I'm not seeing you go through any anger or anything right now, Will, but
right.
but it's
Will
just a live setting.
Angry, but not right now.
Yeah. So anyhow, we've talked about the beauty of the live show and how live is raw and live is real, right? I mean, if we had recorded this and gone back and edited it, we would probably have edited my daughter out and edited my dog out. And, sure, it would have been cleaner to watch, but it would have been less authentic. And this is the authentic side of things. And I think authenticity is so important when you're practicing what it is we're practicing, what it is we're teaching, and hopefully what the viewers, when they start to practice on their own, they're authentic with themselves and authentic with the emotions that they're experiencing, frustrations, anger, joy, pain, fear. I mean, there's so many different emotions that we all feel.
Right.
And some of them, again, as we've talked about, they they're buried underneath the surface and manifest themselves
Right.
in different ways. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm blabbing now. So
No, not at all. Well, I mean, I think we can because our really what we wanted to touch on, we're probably going to come back and do this topic again, but is meditation. And
yeah,
meditation is what allows us to create distance, or it allows us to observe our emotional life instead of being like completely like pulled into its current all the time.
right,
Like I think what I like what we're talking about here is what meditation has helped me really establish, and most of its practitioners and yourself, and you came to meditation because of your survivor's guilt, right?
right,
I mean,
absolutely, 100%.
yeah, and it helps to us begin to get to know our emotions, and therefore establish more emotional intelligence and a sense of emotional maturity. So instead of being like, I mean, your kids, to talk, you have 3 and a 1-year-old, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're all emotional. They're just like, cry, whatever, whatever that, but they're kids, right?
yeah,
But as we grow up as adults, like, do we have to continue to act like kids being jerked around by our emotions, right?
right, yeah,
And if you are, how productive are you as an individual? Are you enhancing your life by continually, being emotionally unaware, right? Or, right, if you begin to become more emotionally aware, it's like, how is that going to help you,
right,
in every situation in life? Because like we talked about earlier, we're not a thinking being, we're a feeling being.
right.
And if we can get in touch with those feelings, like, what's our potential?
Yeah, well, I mean, and not just our own feelings, but also
Yeah,
the feelings of those around us,
exactly.
and what is it? Brene Brown, right? So talks about the story that we tell ourselves, and a lot of the time, the story that we tell ourselves about what is going on in a particular situation with another in a relationship is quite often wrong. So you may think that your spouse or your significant other is being mean or being hurtful when in fact they said something and you took it completely out of context. And if you think too much about it, then you may misprocess it. But if you look at it and you're like, okay, I'm feeling this. What is it that I'm feeling? Um, and then maybe express that to your significant other or your spouse or your friend or whomever, and say, look, this is what I'm feeling. Then they can also help to better understand what the actual situation is, and that can all come from meditating. I mean, if you sit down with a feeling, you've got this feeling in your heart about what may have just happened, and you meditate about it, then maybe you'll have more clarity to go and have that conversation later with your in that relationship. Sorry, man, this
No,
dog.
he
She,
wants to go run.
yeah, man. She's a puppy. She's still full of energy. We had another dog. Actually, we had 3 dogs when we got married,
Um,
and each one of them has passed away in the last 3 years. We've had one pass away, or yeah. And so we had no dogs for a while, and we were like, okay, well, this is how it's going to be in the RV with no dogs.
yeah,
And then we're like, oh, this is really foreign to us because we've never been in our relationship without dogs. So we're like, hey, we got to get a dog.
yeah.
And now we're like, what were we thinking? Why did we get a dog?
You have a
But no,
dog
she's
and a 1 and a 3-year-old. Like, you just
yeah,
packed it
yeah,
on, John. You just have
yeah.
loaded the deck.
So mindfulness is critical. Like I find myself getting frustrated with my puppy here. She's what, 10 months old. I'm like, John, she's a 10-month-old dog. She's doing exactly what a 10-month-old dog should be doing.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean that goes back to that, the whole we are feeling beings and not thinking beings. And my feeling is a little bit of frustration, and then I'm like, wait, no, okay, why is this? This is stupid. So I'm having the same conversation over and over during this call. Is that okay? I find myself getting frustrated at things that I shouldn't be,
yeah,
and that all comes. Luckily, I have the tool, or the arrow in my quiver, or whatever you call it, that I can put to use when I'm here again. I've got to enjoy this. I'm with my dog, and that's fun. I'm with my daughter off to the side here, and it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm in the mountains. That's fun and it's beautiful. What do I have to get frustrated about? Nothing.
Right. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and you know, at the end of the day, like let's say at the end of the day, I've gone through all these same things, and I have not been mindful. I've not been practicing meditation. Um, at the end of the day, I will be exhausted from all the anxiety and the frustration that I've been holding in like this tight knot, right? When the better process is to just experience it, try to process what it is you should be feeling, rather let go of that anxiety, let go of that frustration, and at the end of the day, then I'm a lot happier, a lot more relaxed, and I feel that like the day has been, again, coming back to the day being richer. That's truly what it has been. The day has been richer. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, what are some
yeah.
so what are, like, give me like 2 or maybe 3 of your go-to meditation practices that you have enjoyed, enjoyed, yes, but have
Yeah.
kind of yielded the best, I don't like to use the word results, but have given you the best insight. Yeah.
Yeah. Couple, I would say, the probably the biggest one for me is the loving kindness ones. So that's, you know, where you think about the other person, the other people in your life, in your immediate life, and those who are in the world. And I mean, in this day and age, there's so much that we see on the news, so much that we see with politics, and it's easy to jump to the, oh man, that person is so stupid, or that person is so whatever. Well, the loving kindness helps me to be more loving and more kind to everybody, and you know, people that I see on the news, people that, and it helps me to understand maybe their perspective, put myself in their shoes. I think the loving kindness is a good one, and then the, as far as mindfulness meditation, I personally really love just a body scan, and the body scan is so fascinating to me because a lot of the time you don't feel the physical feelings in your, I don't know, your feet, right? You don't think about what it is you feel in your feet. What is it? The Buddha said the foot feels the foot when it feels the ground, right? Well, if you sit and think about what your foot is feeling, look at this thing.
Hi, bud.
Yeah, if you sit and process, you know, the physical sensations in your feet, and then move up to your calves and then up to your thighs, and just do that body scan, you notice things manifesting as physical stressors that you may not otherwise. Like you may notice some tension in your gut or some tension in your shoulders, your neck. And I think when I sit and do that body scan and I notice that, then I'm able to also let it go a lot easier once I've realized that it's there. So I think those are two of my favorite, the loving kindness and the body scan ones. So
Yeah.
what about you?
Well, it's funny you mentioned loving kindness. So you can, like, anybody that's on this, or you can hit me up later. I did a loving kindness meditation on Insight Timer with Sharon Salzberg, who is just like a master.
Oh,
like,
nice.
yeah, and I did it today. So I've been doing, actually, for the last.
No way.
Yeah, I did it today, and it's already posted on my Instagram story. A loving kindness meditation.
Right on.
The first one that you mentioned. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
And during that meditation today, like. So yeah, it's also being loving kind. Start with obviously self, being loving kind of yourself, but then, and I'm already getting chilled, and then sharing loving kindness to people that you love, people that are that you are in conflict with, people that are struggling. And I was actually in this meditation today, and I think this one was about 18 minutes or something, or 16. And I was like really having some experiences. I was just really feeling like a vibration that was coming through. So I mean that is, and that's actually something I'm going to do. So I like to stick with a particular meditation style for like several weeks, and I'll just keep doing the same meditation. I mean, not even the same style, yes, because sometimes it takes a little time to find the right voice, I guess, or the right teacher. But like, I know Sharon, I love her work. I've done a lot of her meditations over the years. So I just will stick with that one for several weeks now and just like see
Nice.
what happens, see what
Yeah.
develops as they develop more self-compassion. Therefore, where the real game is, well, both games is developing more compassion for other people and understanding of other people that aren't necessarily as, emotionally mature, right?
Right.
Just they just try to spread their shit everywhere, you know. Um, uh, so yeah, that I mean, I'm enjoying that meditation style right now. I've I've been trained with TM, so that's always kind of a go-to.
Yeah.
Transcendental meditation, which is also very similar to Vedic meditation, which is just reciting a mantra over and over and over
Right.
again. And the mantra, it's energetic quality that helps to like kind of mind stuff that you might not be aware of, that starts to bring it up to the surface, and hopefully eventually, if you stay with the TM enough, usually it just like kind of lets it go and it goes away.
Right.
But
Right.
at the same time, as you're focusing on, and in TM, you're giving a very specific personal mantra that you're not. It's a secret, John. I can't tell you what my mantra is. I can't. They told me not to tell you, right? Anybody. So, but it's also is the focus, just like we did the focus on the breathing. It's just really sharpening the mind to do one thing.
Right.
So that's good mentally as well, to be able to be relaxed and calm and just focus as much as you can. And then I really enjoy just doing simple breath meditations and really getting in touch with my whole self by doing breathing, right? Body, breath, and brain, right? And my feelings as well. But using the breath as a tool just to tap in, calm myself down naturally by finding more of my breath and actually creating a beautiful quality of breath which we worked with on our little start meditation. And it's just been that is always like a very easy go-to as well. And I like to do that for at least 20 minutes. So the practice, like, I think timing of meditation, I think would be important to talk about as well. And ideally you want to get to like 20 minutes a day at least.
Right.
And maybe twice a day would be awesome. But for those that aren't meditating or haven't meditated or kind of dabbled a little bit, that 20 minutes can seem like a lot, like a real lot. And it is a lot of time, especially if you've never done it before. So like I always offer to my new students, like something like, 7 to 8 minutes. And what I hear, like, and this is my niece again, I'll talk about her, and she started meditating when she was 19, which is amazing. And
Nice.
She's like, Uncle Bill, she's like, it's hard for me to meditate because I can't sit still. And I'm like, well, that's where your meditation starts. Just by literally sitting your ass still for like 5 or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, if you keep showing up, I mean, meditation doesn't work if you don't practice, but making
Right.
the time, not just finding the time, making the time and sitting and doing the best you can and meditation is not about achieving anything. It's about doing the work. And every day is different,
Right.
like we're experiencing right now. You have a dog, you have kids, it's like, your last day of your veteran, of active military member. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. So that's going to definitely shift and alter, your experience in meditation. But just the fact that you're doing it and letting it go is like, that's all you need to just show up. Just show up is what I keep saying. But
yeah, absolutely. Those are great ones, man. And I think the breathing and just sitting still is a great way to start. For those who have not meditated before, that's a really great one to start on, and not beating yourself up when your mind starts to wander, because that's what it's going to do. It's made to think, and your mind is going to bounce around. But just once you notice that it's bouncing around, just gently bringing it back to your breath or bringing it back to your mantra if you're doing TM. Wow, man. So I've been here this whole week and I haven't seen anything like this yet. That's a military C-130 flying overhead.
shit.
In Telluride. Yeah, kind of a weird thing. Maybe it's my flyby for my retirement.
Oh, you know what? It is, John. Veterans staff made a phone call, and they're gonna swoop back around and write your name in the air.
That's right. So, well, yeah, man. I'll tell you what. based on the fact that my dog is going crazy and my kids are back there, I'm
I know.
probably going to call this done. But I'll wrap it up with a mindfulness meditation. And what we'll do is we'll just go through the five senses. It's not a scan. We'll just go through the five senses really quickly, using each one of the five senses as an anchor for, maybe 20 seconds, just so that you bring yourself into the here and now. Notice that those senses are always sensing. Your sense of taste, even if you're not eating something, you're always sensing. Your sense of sound or hearing, even if you're in a quiet room, you're always hearing something. And luckily, I've got a dog here that maybe you guys can hear in the background, so you'll be able to hear that during the meditation. So, yeah, without further ado, what I'll ask you guys, I'll invite you to do is just get into a comfortable position, and if you're comfortable doing so, close your eyes, and let's start with one cleansing breath, just deep cleansing breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then bring your attention for about 20 seconds just to the sense of sight. Even if your eyes are closed, you're still going to see something. You're going to see the brown or the red or maybe the black of the back of your eyelids. You may see some shapes, some colors. Just notice those for now. And just be quiet for 10 seconds, 10 or 15 seconds as you do that. And now slowly shift your awareness from your sight to your sense of smell. What is it that you're smelling around you? Are you smelling flowers or maybe some air freshener that you have in the room? Maybe the laundry detergent that you washed your clothes with, you can smell that. Your sense of smell is always there. Focus on that for the next 10 or 15 seconds. Now slowly shift your focus to your sense of taste. Maybe you've just recently brushed your teeth and you can taste the toothpaste, or you've just recently eaten or drank something that you can still taste. Even when you're not eating, when you're not drinking, you can still taste something. What is it that you taste? Now, to your sense of hearing. What do you hear right now? I obviously hear my dog, and I can hear children playing in the background. What do you hear in your space? What do you hear in the space right next to you? What do you hear in the streets outside your apartment or outside your office? Maybe you hear the air conditioning, the computer running, other people talking in the background. Just focus on those sounds for the next 10 or 15 seconds. And lastly, your sense of touch. Again, as we covered before, you don't notice your sense of touch quite often. Shift your focus to your feet. Notice the sense of your touch of your feet on the ground or in your shoes. The sense of your sit bones against the chair that you're sitting on. the sense of your hands, maybe on your chest and your belly, or maybe on your knees. Just notice the actual sensation of touch. Focus on that for the next 10 to 15 seconds. And those are your beautiful five senses that we often neglect and forget. We'll wrap it up with one last final closing breath, deep in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you're ready, come back to the here and now. Open your eyes, maybe shake out neck, loosen up. And that's all there is to it. Hey, come here.
That was lovely, John. Thank you so much for that. That was great. I actually haven't I haven't done that like exact meditation before. So thank you for that experience and now information,
Yeah.
Well, hey, I won't keep you much longer. One last
Thanks, brother.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No, absolutely, my brother. Absolutely. We got next week. But
definitely.
Have a great day with your fam and
I appreciate that.
Celebrating this weekend.
Yes, I appreciate that so much, and thanks again for this time and space to talk through what we talked to today, and enjoy your weekend, brother.
Yeah, hey, thank you.
All right,
everybody out
take
there,
care.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, John. Peace. Thanks, guys, whoever's out there. And we'll be back next week. We're probably, I don't know exactly what our topic's going to be, but obviously something mindfulness related. So thanks for checking it in. Thanks for checking us out. And we'll see you next week, 12:30 Eastern Time. Men Talking Mindfulness. And thank you again for showing up.
Thanks for joining Will and John on Men Talking Mindfulness. If you enjoyed the show, please like and share it with your friends and family, and please, we would appreciate a review too. Until next time, this has been Men Talking Mindfulness. Thanks for showing up.